A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vatra. Let's get you our top story, and that's an arrest has been made. This is one more. A person has been arrested in the horrific case of the two tribal women in Manipur. So taking the number to 5 now who've been arrested in the case. This case that came to light on Wednesday after that viral video of two women being made to parade naked in the state of Manipur, also allegedly gang raped. While meanwhile, the women have taken to the streets in large numbers in Manipur, and there are protests that are being held in different parts of the state involving different communities demanding justice for the women. The Chief Minister himself has joined in the protests, and he was protesting from his own constituency. He emphasized the government's seriousness in taking strict action amid outrage over that viral video, and he has in fact said that he will ask for the strictest punishment, hoping to sort for capital punishment. Now, women participating in the protest are urging the government to swiftly punish the culprits responsible for the torture and the harassment of the two victims. 5 people in all have been arrested so far, but 12 people were identified in that video. The National Commission for Women Chief Rekha Sharma has gone on to say that there were several complaints from people outside the country as well, and the NCW received a complaint through a letter on the 12th of June mentioning the horrific incident of the women being paraded naked on the 4th of May. Now, the Chief Minister of this is the Chief Minister of Assam has also reacted to this video, saying and questioning as far as the timing of the release of the video is concerned, just a day before the commencement of the Parliament's monsoon session, and claiming that politics was behind the leak. But this does come at a time when the internet services were banned. Let's just listen into what Himanta Biswa Sarma had to say.
You see, that case was registered long back. Video was available, but it was leaked before the day of Parliament. So there is some kind of political things are involved. But having said so, this is a gruesome incident. We cannot condone the incident whether the video has been leaked today, tomorrow or yesterday. Irrespective to the date of release of the video, the incident should be condemned, culprits should be punished.
And getting you news from Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has dismissed his Minister of State for Soldiers' Welfare, Rajendra Gudda, hours after his remarks in the State Assembly, drawing parallels between the sexual violence in Manipur and the alleged atrocities against women in Rajasthan. Gudda, considered a loyalist as far as former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot is concerned, and has been criticizing his own government on different issues. A communique from Raj Bhavan on Friday night said that the governor has accepted the recommendation of Gehlot to dismiss Gudda.
जिस तरीके से राजस्थान के अंदर रोज अखबारों में रोज जगह जगह बच्चियों के साथ, माताओं के साथ, बहनों के साथ ये सारी रिपोर्ट भरी पड़ी है। सारी रिपोर्ट ऑन रिकॉर्ड है कि राजस्थान महिला अत्याचार में नंबर 1 पर आ गया। ये हम सभी के लिए शर्म की बात है।
शुभकामनाएं और अभिनंदन और प्रशस्ति राजेंद्र सिंह जी गुड्डा के साथ में है, क्योंकि उन्होंने साहस के साथ में हकीकत को बयान करने का काम किया। लेकिन इस साहस को और सच को गहलोत सरकार स्वीकार नहीं कर पाई कि राजस्थान में महिलाओं के सम्मान की बात करने वाला व्यक्ति, न तो राजस्थान में महिलाएं सुरक्षित है और न महिलाओं के सम्मान के लिए आवाज उठाने वाला व्यक्ति या मंत्री इस सरकार में सुरक्षित है।
Now, in a political war of words, the political row surrounding the volunteers has taken a personal turn as far as the Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy is concerned. He attacked Jana Sena Chief Pawan Kalyan at a public meeting on Friday. Jagan Mohan Reddy branded Pawan Kalyan as a political volunteer and a packet star working for, this is for N. Chandrababu Naidu for many years. He said that the JS chief has a history of multiple marriages, divorces and illicit relationships.
The political hostility between Jagan Mohan Reddy and Pawan Kalyan dates back to 2014, when Jagan Mohan Reddy attributes his loss in that election, in fact, the backing by Pawan Kalyan of the TDP-BJP alliance. Even in the run-up to 2024 and at a time when there are reports that Jagan Mohan Reddy could advance the state assembly elections, there has been talk that Pawan Kalyan would like the TDP to be part of the NDA in order to try and defeat Jagan Mohan Reddy. The latest round of bitter exchanges started with Pawan Kalyan in fact saying that village volunteers, ward volunteers were targeting single women for trafficking, and he said that central agencies had told him that 29,000 women had gone missing in Andhra Pradesh, and of them even though only about 14,000 had been traced back, he said the 15,000 missing women could in some way be linked to these village volunteers. Let me point out that village volunteers, it's a force of about 2.6 lakh people to which the government in fact pays a salary, and they are seen as volunteers who help people get the welfare services of the government. In a sense, it's seen as a parallel machinery that Jagan Mohan Reddy has set up in order to help his own party's prospects. Jagan Mohan Reddy has reacted sharply to this. Even prior to this, we saw village volunteers coming out and protesting everywhere. Jagan Mohan Reddy government has also ordered legal prosecution of Pawan Kalyan for the comments that he has made. And yesterday, once again, he spoke about derogatory, defamatory, venomous comments that he said that are being made by Pawan Kalyan. And he made some personal comments on Pawan Kalyan and also said that he is in fact the B team of the TDP, and Jagan Mohan Reddy's criticism, or rather comments, also extended to Chandrababu Naidu, his son Lokesh, and his brother-in-law Balakrishna, all of who are of course MLAs of the Telugu Desam. And he said Pawan Kalyan himself has no standing, moral standing, he suggested, to comment on village volunteers, because he said he was someone who was married and divorced, married and divorced, and married and divorced, and said that he had even had illicit relations with women while he was still married to someone. And that he said, in a sense, he said that he was not, did not have the standing to comment on the character of the village volunteers, who he said people were appreciated the services being extended by this group of volunteers. This of course is a political battle, but I must point out that Pawan Kalyan is raising some other important questions. He is raising the question about the data, personal data that is being collected by these village volunteers in the name of extending the welfare services of the government, and he says that the confidentiality of this data being collected by people who are not really government officials is something that is questionable, and that perhaps raises an important question.
Moving on, JDS leader and Karnataka's former Chief Minister HD Kumaraswamy on Friday declared that his party has decided to work together with the BJP as an opposition in the interest of the state, stating that the party supremo and former Prime Minister HD Devegowda has authorized him to take any final decision regarding the party. He said that there's still time for Parliament polls to talk about. It's premature for that. There's still some time left. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. On the other side, my colleague Veera will be here taking us through how this month of July could turn out to be the hottest in hundreds of years and what's leading this spike in temperatures. All that and a whole lot more on the other side.
When there's too much talking but very little being said, too many voices but hardly any being heard, you turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people. In a world with rapidly shifting power dynamics, India is emerging as a global power. With its new standing, how do Indians view the world?
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate. "23 years of the big fight." This show is not just an ordinary debate show, but it is a responsibility in service of our viewers.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
that was fast, right? But tech is evolving even quicker than our abilities to adapt. And that's how I like to roll. Technology तो आप सभी के पास है, but what you need is everything else. मेरा नाम है गौरव और अब मैं आ गया हूँ NDTV नेटवर्क पे हर रोज हर हफ्ते अब आपके और पास. Go beyond the now.
When it comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates.
Top interviews.
And analysis.
From around the globe.
In a world filled with noise, we bring you news that you can rely on with accuracy and integrity. Because at NDTV, trust is everything.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
It's undeniable. We're facing the crisis of the generation, climate change, and it's happening. Not in some far-off distant land or some millions of years away. It's happening now. And it affects everything we know and love. Information around climate change can often feel too distant, too jargony, too scary, too anxiety-filled, too technical, or too political. I'm here to change that. The Climate Explainers, part of NDTV's 6-month-long campaign, building a blueprint for climate action. The climate clock is ticking, but we're just in time.
The NDTV News Network
That informs,
inspires,
and illuminates. Watch every side of the story here on NDTV.
because the only side we're on is yours. From breaking news to in-depth analysis,
Covering the latest developments
Across politics,
business and technology.
bringing you stories.
Globally, there has been dramatic weather events and extreme concern over extreme heat. It was recorded as the hottest month of June on Earth in terms of as long as we have recorded temperatures, and now NASA scientists expect it to be the hottest July and possibly August as well. Scientists say that 2024 could well be hotter than 2023. So why is this happening and what can we do about it? Joining us now, John Nain from the World Meteorological Organization. He's the senior heat advisor there, and Dr. D.S. Pai, senior scientist at the IMD. But first to you, Dr. John, what do you see is the reason for this? Were these expected events or are these completely unpredicted?
We have seen an emerging trend for standing waves, stationary patterns that lock in the big anticyclones that mean that the heat waves sit in one spot and continually build up heat over a period of time. So where these planetary waves sit tend to govern where the heat waves occur.
Right. So in terms of the prediction for 2024, and as we go forward, do we see these events as a trend that continues, sir? Because last time we had a conversation, some scientists predicted that these are anomalies that are noted, these extreme weather events, and those make it very difficult to predict them.
Yes, we have to consider it in the context of the global warming that we can see and the other signals that we can also see, such as the emergence of the El Nino. So we know that the global temperature will warm in an El Nino year. So we're going to see additional heat put into our climate systems. And normally when we see that shift, we will see other extremes emerge. So it won't be unusual to see more extreme heat waves.
More extreme heat waves won't be unusual. Dr. Pai, what does that mean for a country like India, which is already amongst one of the hottest in the world?
Yeah, as John said, like temperatures are increasing in line with the increase in the temperature globally. There has been also increase in the temperature over India. However, for this year, we have been so far not experienced much heat waves, particularly during the month of May and June. And the decadal forecast, in fact, released by WMO themselves, the month of May shows that, in fact, next 5 years or so, normally the temperature over India is likely to be slightly above normal. So not expected to be high, but we may still experience increased heat waves in some parts, particularly the northwest and central part of the country.
Okay. Okay, Dr. John, are there particular regions in the world which need to be more concerned about the heat situation than others, or is this going to be unilateral and across the globe?
Well, it's never unilateral across the globe because we have the interannual variability, and that interannual variability is driven strongly by a signal such as the El Nino. So my home country of Australia will expect to see higher probability of drought and certainly warmer weather during spring, which can bring early heat waves, particularly in the tropics. And I suppose indeed I'd throw to your other expert on the program, any delay in the onset of a monsoon would be a big signal to me for an increased opportunity for extreme heat waves. So I think the local expertise that can guide those questions about, particularly in the tropics where we may see a delay in any monsoon onset, would actually be a signal for large heat waves.
Right, important point that you make there. Just quickly as we wind up this conversation, last couple of points from you and Dr. Pai as well. In terms of our own ability to cope with this situation that one has seen, possibly getting worse, we are talking only of temperatures that we have in our recorded history. We don't know beyond that how it's played out, right? So how do you see this changing perhaps patterns? As you pointed out, monsoon is one aspect. And would this effect also cause other weather extremities, one that we have not seen so far?
Well, that's certainly on the cards because we keep on seeing unusual weather events that aren't in our climate record. I think what we have to worry about to some degree are the compounding effects of heat waves where we see increased burning of forests. So the Northern Hemisphere are burning their boreal forests on unprecedented scales, and we're getting a lot of smoke and other particulates released into the atmosphere that can have unexpected effects. And heat waves where they occur are also deepening the effects of drought. So that can have, where they coincide, it can have quite interesting effects upon food security and the like. So there's the compounding effects we have to worry about.
Well, thank you so much for pointing that out. It's an important matter of concern. Dr. Pai, what can we learn from each other? What can we teach the world as well in terms of weather events and what we're living? Is there enough integration globally in terms of both warning systems and preparedness for possible extreme weather events and even heat?
Definitely. So there has been, international cooperation under WMO actually is insisting of, early warning system for not only heat waves, many other extreme waves like cyclone or heavy rainfall, drought, etc. So you can see that India itself actually leading cyclone forecasting, early warning forecasting system in the region, and we have been able to actually save a lot of life. You might have seen that since last 4 or 5 years, the deaths has reduced a lot. Actually, and there has been collaboration with other countries also, though, and we are actually exchanging model output each other, and thereby we have got large information to make predictions about these extreme events, and also giving a early warning to the concerned countries or the region locally, etc.
Okay. Well, expect the unexpected and expect extreme events. That's the message coming out of this conversation. Thanks so much, Dr. John, as well as Dr. Pai, for joining us and weighing in with your thoughts.